Well, welcome back for part 3 of Robb Looks for His Koshi as he practices San Chin. So in this part we're going to take the last portion of San Chin, but we're going to start first with the turning. We've covered the stepping and the thrust, so now we need to work on the first San Chin turns, which basically involve pivoting and then bringing the foot around. Now, as I do this turn, I want to do it with a sense of being able to stop anywhere along the turn. So I make this turn. I'm moving from my hips, not looking over my shoulder, but letting my head turn slightly. So that, again, I keep posture. As my head turns, my foot's going to want to move. And I'm letting my foot move with me, and I keep this sense of posture as I get ready to put the foot down. But I want to be aware the whole time that if something else were to happen, I could move. What I want to avoid as I'm doing these turns in San Chin is spinning. I don't want to be out of control. There's a concept that I bring into my karate training from Aikido called ski. And ski is this notion of opening. And San Chin really is all about keeping yourself, avoiding being open as you're in this posture. Turns offer a real chance to get open, and certainly to be off balance, which is an opening, and certainly to drop your hands, which is an opening, to bend over, which is an opening. So as you're doing your turn, you want to practice a sense of minimizing the amount of ski, minimizing the number of openings in your body, and just feel the turn as you make it. That's the basic turn you would do, again, after the pattern of thrusts. And you can do as many thrusts forward and as many thrusts back as you want. In class, we typically do 4 thrusts forward, 4 thrusts back, 4 thrusts forward, but certainly when I began training, there were days we would just do San Chin up and down the dojo. So it's up to you at home. Again, enjoy your quarantine time in your practice area and just explore what you want to do with the thrusts. When we've done our last thrust, and when we've done our set of going up, coming back, and going back up, and we do get ready to do our ryote, we're going to now change slightly how we address what's going on with our hips and our koshi. As I was doing my thrust in San Chin, I'm feeling this sense of pulling back, and I'm feeling these back muscles engage as my hip comes. And I'm feeling the back muscles engage and extension as I thrust. As I go to do a ryote, the double hand strike, I'm going to pull back both hands. So I can't just do one hip, I now have to feel both. So there's a slight opening that's going on, a slight rotation going on with the muscles in my thighs as I pull my arms back. I want to keep my posture. And now as I thrust my arms forward, this is going to unwind. So I've sort of wound it up like a spring. I'm going to unwind it now as I thrust. Now, again, as I grab, and again, I usually don't have my fingers like that, I have a chance to practice and feel what's going on with my body from my fingers. So if I close from this finger here, again, I have a sense of roundness and a sense of my pecs engaging. But it's a little harder for me to, and I can find my traps, but it's a little harder for me to find my koshi. When I grab here on this, I can feel my lower back. And it's easier for me to feel then this pull back. It may be different for you. Again, my teacher is very fond of reminding me that when he makes corrections on somebody else, it's not for me. My corrections are my corrections. Somebody else's corrections are somebody else's corrections. So as you're practicing at home, feel what's going on with your own body. But for me, from here on the ryote, as I wind back and thrust, as I grab to pull in, to pull back, and I'm feeling, again, these muscles winded back, I get better sense of my lower back by grabbing from my little finger. I also keep a better sense of my lower back by feeling my little finger engage and feeling my armpit squeeze. So I'm not, and again, I'm really trying to avoid doing a push-up. I'm not trying to push from my shoulders. I'm trying to move from my hips. On the third strike in the ryote, you're just going to pull your hands back to kamae. As you pull back to kamae, you don't want to lose the sense of squeezing, and you don't want to lose what's going on with your little finger, and you definitely want to feel what's going on in your palm. So as I come back to kamae, I feel this sense of screwing almost, this sense of spiraling out, a sense of having my fingertips engaged, my little fingers engaged, and a sense of, a circle. Now, I've talked about the spiraling and the circle quite a bit in class. Just a quick refresher. What I'm looking for is the whole time I'm doing my karate is if I can find 3 circles, that gives me a helix. A helix drives the universe. I figure if I can get close to using whatever force drives the universe, I'm much better off than not having it. So I'm constantly looking for these circles and spirals, internally and externally. So you want to feel again what's going on with your muscles internally, how some of your back muscles might be spiraling, the muscles of your arms are spiraling, what's going on with your palms, and I'm going to make my first turn. Now the turn for this last part, for the Wauke, is a little different than the other turns. So I tend to do this turn, I sink into basically a nekowashi and make a turn. For the 180-degree part, again I sink into a nekowashi and turn. And for the last turn, I sink into a nekowashi and turn. That's how I do the turn. I'm trying to keep my balance, and again I'm trying to avoid moving from my head. I'm trying not to do that. As I make the turn, I want to feel the sense of moving my whole body as a unit. My whole body as a unit. Now, when I've got my arms up to do the Wauke, I've got, again, another helper, the training wheels at work. From this position, as I go to make this turn, I can actually feel the energy going out my hands. And that makes that turn a little easier. I feel like this energy waving across as I make the turn. Same thing then when I reverse the turn. Come on. So now, if you're practicing just going right into Wauke position, that's okay. But I like to come to Kamae on all these positions. How you practice again is how you practice, and enjoy. The Wauke. Now, there are lots of people I respect, especially Art Rabisa, who do not drop their hands. But I drop my hand on the Wauke, and when I get to this position, I drop my hand, and I want to feel this extension going out again through my fingers. I want to feel it in the same plane as my sanshin down here, and in the same plane both this direction and this way. I want to feel this extension. As I make my circle, this hand is circling as well. It's coming in toward my center and circling. As it touches, as I bring my hands back, this hand is spiraling. I'm feeling my elbow, my back muscles come together. I'm feeling my koshi come together, and my thighs are opening, are helping again to kind of spiral, and my pelvis is slightly opening. Again, it's not like that. It's just a slight opening of those muscles. And now when I do my thrust for my Wauke, it's going to come from down here. Again, that spiraling out, the closing, the broadening of the glutes, however you want to, whatever feels right to you, that's how you want to do it. So you feel this extension, slight rotation, hands work together. Again, I'm not trying to get caught. So as I do this, there's this sense of brushing, also a sense of cutting. So I'm not trying to pull. When I come here, I'm cutting down. And I'm letting my back muscles and my hips drive this arm movement as much as my arms are. And out. That's again a sense of spiraling into whatever it is you're hitting. Spiraling. We come back after the last Wauke. Again, whichever side you're on. I come back to center. I close the gate by bringing my fist up, knuckle over, and closing the gate. And that gives me another opportunity to find my back before I end the kata. I pull down into it. As I bow, again, I'm feeling my back. I'm bowing. That is how I'm searching for my koshi in sanshin. And I hope some of you at home have a chance to search for your own. If you have any feedback or you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks. Bye.